We need to talk a bit about intervals, because intervals are going to prove to be one of your greatest allies when it comes to preparing your chops for playing. In other words, for warming up. We have here listed some intervals. That's the major second, that's the major third, the perfect fourth, perfect fifth, and the octave and reverse. Octave, perfect fifth, perfect fourth, major third, major second. And they would sound. And very, very important for octaves, because when you're warming up, you want to make sure that the idea for warming up is to get your lip flexible enough till it'll do whatever it is that you want it to do. We have some very, very weird people who teach youngsters that you take your horn out of the case and place it to your chops and just hit the loudest, highest note as cold as you possibly can have your horn, whatever cold day, whatever part of the world you're in, and just put it up there and do it. And his theory is that if you beat your chops into submission, they'll do anything you want them to do. But we don't like to use that sadistic approach. We like to use a nice, theoretic and easy approach, because this is what's going to actually add to our longevity as trumpet players. And intervals are our greatest allies. Now, we find that the intervals which you've studied here are going to be very great for working on it. If you work with only one of them. Remember, when you work with an interval, don't be afraid to reverse it. And let's take, for instance, a little warm-up exercise, which we call just a little ditty. For instance, you have a chance to count and utilize your indulgence in whole rest, whole notes, half notes, and you play a little thing like that. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3. You could go right on up the scale. Now, you don't necessarily have to adhere to this particular thing that we are diagnosing for you. It's good medicine, of course, but you can use your own imagination, and so that you don't get bored with practicing, because practicing can sometimes get a little bored if you have to do the same thing all the time. You can be innovative and creative in your practice, you know. You'd be surprised at how many things you can get out of just the C scale. You can get an awful lot of enjoyment out of a C scale. So if I were you, I'd just dig in there and practice as much as I possibly could.